done this before. This is a true story. This is about young boys that were either conscripted or joined the army during World War One. It's a true story about the boys, 25 or 26 boys from Cypress Street that joined the army in World War One. It's called Odious Reflection. Arthur, Henry and me, William, off to be heroes, to fight the good fight for king and country, to rid our world of evil, to kill a kraut or two, or be killed. It was an honour, it was our duty, everyone said it was. We were the London lads, East End boys, 26 of us from Cypress Street, London, E2. We marched down Cypress Street, 26 of us, the youngest 12, the oldest 18. Sydney, the youngest lad, a big lad. His mother never knew, as soldiers were few. We were cheered all the way, flags waved, girls waving, our hearts fluttering, pride in every step, off to be heroes. It was a May Day, 1917, sunny and warm. Our training started, men made of boys with lots of new toys. We learned to shoot and stab, to kill and break heads and gouge eyes with all our might. We hoped our enemy never learned as much. Off to be heroes. I was a corporal, my friends privates. I told them where we go, to Passchendaele. Not a glimmer in their eye. None had heard of it, to Passchendaele, to kill 500,000 Krauts. Their eyes lit up and screamed a cheer. Off to be heroes. It was dark as we marched, dismal and abysmal, the rain continuous, our footsteps slower as mud sucked us into the ground. I was silently grateful. I heard the shelling and the yelling as we approached our mark. I thought, this no walk in the park. I became scared. Was I alone with this thought? After all, we were taught off to be heroes. The rain continued for 2 weeks and a day. Heavy rain mixed with remnants of mustard and chlorine gas crawling towards us in a sea of green. A vile and volatile liquid, corrosive to your skin, destroys your throat and lungs, coughing and coughing until blood spurts from your mouth, while chlorine makes you drown. Off to be heroes, Arthur, Henry and me, had a smoke and made a joke. We sat with rats. You had to smoke to dissipate the smell of dead bodies, urine and shit, and all the gases that made the air putrid. We sucked on our fags, waiting our turn to run into history, do or die. We came to fight. A cow herd in the distance, crying in its throes of death, ugly, contorted sounds that made you hold your breath, listening for the next dying moan, and even think of your death. We waited our turn while bombs fell all around, explosions heard in London, our diggers laying bombs deep underground. They kept us busy overground, off to be heroes, the sun springing from the ground. Still raining, waiting for the whistle, stomach churning, feeling like a poo, 3 meters deep and 2 meters wide. I thought it our coffin. We stood, silent, just looking, 4 deep behind each ladder. The whistle blew and the first row flew. The machine guns blew. The first row died as our captain spied. The whistle blew and the second row flew. Lots of wounded to be boarded, off to be heroes. Our turn now, from Cypress Street. The whistle blew. I looked at Arthur and Henry. They looked back, fear and death in their eyes. as we went over the side. Bullets ringing in my ear. Bodies all around as bombs hit the bloody ground. I heard the whistle blow as the bodies began to flow. I was still alive. I looked for Henry as I trudged through the mud. Blood and guts made my path. A skeleton looking at me, telling me to turn back. Beautiful horses sunk in the mud. I saw Henry take a bullet in the eye and one in the thigh. I fired my gun and thought this a pun. I saw Arthur blown to pieces. I laughed and laughed. I fired my gun and in quiet desperation I hit the sun. A bomb explodes and shrapnel hits my bones. German trenches blown as the seeds of life has been sown. For two friends, the 900,000 dead. We gained 5 miles. I lay in the crud and the mud, 200 rats gnawing on dead bodies. I didn't want that for me. Waiting for assistance, I cried till I could cry no more. I wanted my mum. I could not move. I saw Sydney to my right, shot dead, sunk in the mud, only head protruding, 12 years old. Blood was leaving as I was heaving. A medic came and took me back. 2 days I spent in the mud as I wrote this note, in a field in Passchendaele. Gangrene set while I slept. I no longer wanted to be a hero or fight or bathe in the glory of this story. None came home from Cypress Street. All died to be heroes. 26 hailed as heroes. Sorry about that.
You apologise for crying, please don't.
I can't help it. Mate.
No,
I'll second that.
it actually lends the credence to it deserves.
Thank you. This one's called It Should Have Been Me, and it will become apparent what it's about. Cancer came suddenly. It tried to consume me. You did not care because lots of love you had and care, with attention and gentleness. The pills never helped. The cannabis eased your pain as I held you in my arms. No words spoken. Our eyes said it all. I took you out for the last time, played in the park and ate our snacks. Time came and you never knew. You said goodbye to those that loved you as you played on the green, chasing the ball. The vets approached as I drove. I was the last to say goodbye. I lifted your head and you knew it was time to say goodbye. And I knew you knew. You looked at me one last time as I led you in for a sleepy jab. You fell asleep in my arms. As I whispered in your ear, it should have been me. I wrote a book. I used to be a paramedic. I wrote a book about my experiences in the London Ambulance Service. This is my autobiography. It's not like your normal book. It's preceded with tankers and poems and sketches, as well as the stories. This one is about a young 6-year-old girl who's tormented because of the fights going on between her mother and father. The mother's black and the father's white. It's called Naomi. Black like white, white like black, you like me like you, beautiful child, angelic face, covered in a see-through shroud of sorrow, life stolen, alone in the shadows of darkness, forever 6 years old. You are not to blame. Mother black, father white, profound and round arguments abound and travel round and round. You in the middle of an earthquake, ripped apart, mother cracking at the seams, breakdown on the horizon, into a cavern you fall, no way out. Father, unable to cope, leaves with no hope. Neither loses face in this fast race. Both have lost the pace, unable to show their face, unable to cope. Only solution dope. Take Naomi shopping, new pyjamas bought. Treats all day with lots of play. Favourite dinner and chips, chocolate, ice cream and chips. Bath before bed, belly full, hair brushed and feeling great. Off to bed, get up late. Medicine with a drink, 100 aspirins to take, then begin to shake. A kiss goodnight before the fight. We arrive and begin our fight. Door blocked, we push and push and push and slowly creep in. Mother behind the door, tights around her neck, held up off the floor. Too late to help. I look for the next of kin. Naomi found, froth on her mouth. Sister arrives. She can't believe her eyes. She just cries and cries and cries.